Enough. As good enough.
All right. We are rocking and rolling. Hey,
We did it
everybody.
again.
What? We're recording, right? We did it again?
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah. So listen, listeners, I'm Mark Lips. I'm on the West Coast. And my partner in crime here is Sam Lewis, and he's in the Central Coast.
I'm in the middle of a cornfield.
And it's good enough. That's who we are. We're good enough. We're all about mediocrity. Hey, so listen, I want to ask you about this, Sam. Do you think I love the videos on Facebook that about animals who reunite with their previous rescuer after 10 years or whatever, and
I can't watch them.
And the lion comes and puts his hands on arms or legs on the shoulders. I just saw one with elephants. This guy, they call him the elephant whisperer. He was able to keep the elephants in his reserve because he had poachers. That it was legal to kill the elephants if they came out of the reserve. So poachers really were all around the perimeter waiting for these rogue elephants, because they were rogue elephants who were herded into this reserve. And if they come out of there, because they would always, they'd broken out before, but this guy would get up every time when he saw them happen, and he would talk to them. He knew he couldn't understand it, but he was hoping that the lead elephant would catch his tone and understand what he was saying and all of that. And then the guy dies. And this reserve, by the way, is like 20,000 acres. I mean, it's huge. And so the elephants were, you rarely see them sometimes. They're way out on the other side. But after 13 years of them living there, he died. Tragically, heart attack, that whole thing. And apparently, according to this video, all the elephants trekked across country to his place and stayed there for 2 days. How they knew that he had died, no one, science can't explain it. But they had the videos there, and it's not
crazy.
I mean, you could have made it. I mean, what you typed there doesn't necessarily have to be what was really happening, right? So
right.
And then these animals, and all music and everything. You think that's true?
Well, I think there's stuff we can't understand, and we don't know all forms of communication. I believe.
But how would those elephants, 10,000, acres away, 20,000, whatever it was, that's a huge, huge reserve. Know all of a sudden that this guy died, and they traipsed to his house, hung out around his house for 2 days, and then they took off. It's like
there might be some kind of animal telegraph, that,
yeah.
You don't know. You don't know. I can't watch that stuff. The service guy that hasn't seen his dog in 3 years and his dog loses his shit. I start crying and stuff. I can't watch.
I love the stories, but I'm hoping they're true, because of course at the end of this video they want you to donate to Elephant in Crisis.
Well, it's good. I'm gonna die, and then all these damn elephants are gonna show up at my wife's house, and she's gonna be pissed.
Hey, in my Happy Friday newsletter,
1 can of Planters peanuts is not gonna do it.
I saw a picture of these elephants coming out on a road where trucks had to stop and they crossed the highway, just like they were deer or turkeys or whatever. I would love to be driving around here and see an elephant pop out of the woods.
I went to South Africa and saw. I went
on
safari. Yeah, they're scary.
I've never done that. Never.
Animals, they'll kill you. They're not happy to see you. I can promise you that.
Really?
Yeah. Well, yeah. They're not. Their ears.
They'll chase you.
When they say their ears start flapping, you need to vacate the area. And they don't look.
They'll come and trample you. They want to come and trample you.
You're in their area.
How do they kill? Are they packing? How do they kill you? They just
stop on you. They'll hit you with their tusk.
All right.
So,
okay. Let's quickly. What do you think? We quickly recognize our sponsors.
Let's do it.
All right. We, ladies and gentlemen, one of our sponsors is the Ripe Choice Farm Stay and Catering. It is a full-service catering company in Northern California, specifically Lake County. It's a farm that has vineyards, orchard, an event space barn, an Airbnb for you to stay on the farm stay, and garden and farm to fork meals are offered. It's a full commercial kitchen, and so very cool. They do events there, weddings, all of that. But the ripe, like a ripe piece of fruit, theripechoice.net, theripechoice.net. Call them if you're in the area. They will deliver you some box lunches or cheese and charcuterie boards for your wine tours, and or if you're Airbnb-ing it, they'll come and deliver you some food so you can hang out there on the lake and enjoy. The other sponsor we have is my newsletter, which is Happy Friday Neighbors, and it's Happy Friday Neighbors. It comes out every Friday at 4 a.m. Been doing it for probably 25 years, and it's just all kinds of crazy things that run through my head, and especially promoting local events, and quotes that I steal from that Sammy puts on Facebook, things like that. But anyway, Sam?
Yeah, and also brought to you by Pridestaff Bloomington, Illinois. I own a staffing agency here in Bloomington. We do light industrial, office admin, warehouse, and do some headhunting for direct hires. Some people would say that I'm in the human trafficking business.
I like that.
So we do a wide area here in Central Illinois, and also brought to you by Punke Racing. My grandson and I guess my family's involved in a racing team. My grandson races quarter midgets. We're always looking for some sponsorship to put on the side of the cars, and he's a very good driver. He got fourth in the nation in senior Honda last year, and we're looking to do better than that this year. So Punke Racing. With that, we probably should guess, Mark. I'm gonna let her in.
Yep. Good.
Yeah, and I know nothing about this guest, so
I've never heard of her in my life.
So is this random? Is she a random person?
I have no idea. I have no idea. I think her name's Jackie. And
Jackie?
have no clue. I have no association. Anything she says is, that's her, not me.
Well,
but anyway, hi, Jackie.
Hi, Mark. Good to see your face. How are you?
Oh, I am doing great. How are you?
I'm excellent, Sam. Nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, Jackie. Do you know Mark?
I know Mark fairly well.
I'm sorry.
Even though he'll deny it, but I know some stuff.
No, I don't. She's one of my favorite people. I lived through Jackie. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is Jackie Balestra. Jackie is the social media and South Bay queen. That's the South Bay in LA. Now that I'm living in Northern California, Jackie, every time I mention South Bay up here, they think I'm talking about, I guess there's a South Bay in San Francisco.
Right.
And so everybody goes, oh, South Bay, San Francisco. No, South Bay, LA, the real one. And
the real one.
Anyway, by the way, Jackie, just before we get, I want to mention something to Sam. You were talking about Sam owns a staffing agency in Bloomington, Illinois, and I was at a meeting earlier today, Sam, where another staffing agency was there, and they were putting up. This is one of the issues we have here. They're putting up a sign. They're trying to get all businesses to put up these who need to hire people to put up help wanted, hiring now. If you show up, because I guess
that's the tricky part.
Well, that's the thing. Apparently, there's a problem with a lot of people accepting jobs and then they don't show up.
It's called ghosting. They ghost us.
Yeah. Wow. Anyway.
So yeah. Just showing up. Woody Allen said, "Just showing up's 90% of life," and boy, he nailed that one. It's a real struggle, and it's not going to get any better. But I don't want to start crying on podcast.
Right.
I want to know about Jackie. What's your background?
Oh, let me tell you. Yeah. So, Jackie, tell us, give us.
We have a time limit, Jackie, on this thing, and Mark,
yeah,
we're the worst people in the world to be held to a time limit.
Right. And
I know it.
we have the inexpensive version of Zoom that's free, and we get 40 minutes for free.
I didn't even know there was a free version.
Yeah.
Okay,
well, we got it.
Quick background and a check on what Mark said. I used to be the social queen of the South Bay.
You
but to my friends maybe, but yeah, I used to have a website. It was called South Bay by Jackie, and basically it was a calendar of events for everything going on in the entire South Bay.
It was the go-to for, and this is outside of South Bay too. I mean, it was the go-to. No one provided the amount and as comprehensive of information as she provided on that site. You wanted to know what to do that weekend, you went to South Bay by Jackie.
Yeah, it was interesting because in the South Bay, there are like 13 separate cities, and each city has numerous blogs or, podcasts, web, all this different thing for their specific city, but nobody was doing the entire South Bay. So I started that. It was like 12, 13 years ago or something, and it was very, very successful. And then one day we bought an RV and decided to travel, so I couldn't do what I was doing anymore. And so I retired the website.
But you also, we want to get back to the RV. I can't talk Tammy into it, but that's one of my bucket list things.
Well, a pop-up camper is not an RV, Mark.
Well,
yeah.
Here's the thing. COVID, we were shut down here. I mean, you couldn't go to the beach, you couldn't walk on the Strand or the Esplanade. It was awful, and everybody, was just getting, we were all cooped up. Everybody was getting stir crazy. My husband was online looking at I guess there's this, these new Sprinter vans and stuff, and we went and looked at some of those. They were cramped. For one person it would be good, but for two people it was awful. So then he moved up to I think it's Class C, started looking at those. There was a brand new Winnebago model called an Echo, and almost the size of a Sprinter van. I think it was only, if a Sprinter van is 19 feet, I think this RV is 22 feet long, but it's narrow enough. It fits in a standard parking space. So
really,
yeah, it's called the Winnebago Echo, EKKO. And so we ordered it in February of 21, and we didn't get it until October of 21. And the plan was to just, get in it and go. And I have to, tell you, we had zero RV experience. I mean, we didn't grow up.
Now that is something.
We didn't grow up in RVing families.
Yeah.
We had never rented one. We'd never been in one. I mean, except when, we went to the showrooms. We had zero experience. So it was completely new. I have a lot of camping experience, but never RVing experience.
Does it have a tilt out on it? Does it do that where it tilt?
No. This is very compact.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's very comfortable though.
It's like one of the Sprinter vans, but I'm amazed that will fit into a regular parking spot.
Yeah, no kidding.
Fits into it. Yes.
And you say there's enough room in there for two people, and it'll fit into a parking spot.
Yes.
John has given you 4 feet somewhere, 4 by whatever, 8.
All I can think of is Christmas Vacation. That's all I can think of.
I've never even seen that movie, so I don't know anything about RV.
Because I know one of us is dying to say it about Shitter's Full.
Let me set you up a little bit in that. First of all, I knew Jackie was looking at, because I saw her stuff, and I knew they were looking at these RVs. And John, he's a character too, and I guess how's he doing? Is he doing good?
He's doing well. He's doing well. Yeah.
I remember.
Are you guys retired?
As of like a week ago, my husband recently just left his company.
What did he do?
He was industrial real estate development. And he's he's not retired. He's doing what he calls friends and family projects. You know, friends want to get together and invest.
Yeah. I know the feeling. Yeah.
John, I think the last time I was on the phone with you, Jackie, it was a few years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, I guess, or so, on the phone. And actually, we may have been on the, but nevertheless, I could hear this clomping in her house, this clomping in the background. And I said, Jackie, what is that sound? She said, John got some new ski boots. He was trying.
He's wearing them around the house. Yeah, we're both skiers and we both fly fish, and that was the big impetus, in addition to COVID, of getting this van, because the idea of just being able to pull up to a creek or a river or a ski resort, you don't have to make reservations. You can just get in and go. Everything about it just appealed to us. So even though we were complete novices, we decided to do it, and we took possession. We picked it up in October of 21.
But
so where do you go with this thing? And I guess you kind of described that, but also, where do you go out of California? Do you go,
Yes. What we did was, we had it here. We bought a property in Idaho around the same time. So we keep it up there during the warmer weather months, and then late fall we bring it back for the winter here, because we don't want to be driving around in icy roads in a western winter. It can get, as we
not good
this past winter.
Yeah.
So we took possession in October, and our first trip, we were taking it up to Idaho, and it's like a 14-hour drive. So we decided, okay, we'll break it up. We'll spend the night on the road one place. So John found this little town in the middle of nowhere, Nevada, kind of halfway between. And we made a campground reservation. It wasn't a campground. It was like a city park where you could park your RVs and spend the night. So we drove there, and it really easy setup, had something to eat, went to bed at 9 o'clock, because we wanted to get an early start. And 3:20 in the morning, I rolled out of the bed and broke my arm in 3 places.
Are you kidding me? How do you roll out of bed and break your arm in 3? What goes on in your bed?
Okay. So what happened is, in the back there are 2 twin beds, right, parallel to each other, and there's a staircase in the middle, and there is a cushion that comes down and fills in the space between the 2 twin beds, and it becomes a king bed. And what happened was, I thought it was a queen bed, so I had bought queen sheets. So when I was making it up, I said, oh shoot, these don't fit. The sheets aren't big enough. Well, let's just sleep in the 2 twin beds. And we didn't.
Oh my gosh, with a staircase in the middle?
Yeah, we didn't think to put the cushion in, because I was just making it up with the twin sheets. So last time I slept in the twin bed, I was 10 years old. I mean, they're thin. They're not wide.
No,
yeah. All I did was roll over, and I went down the stairs and broke my arm in 3 places.
Oh my God!
That was my first night in the RV.
Yeah, you basically rolled out of the top bunk.
Yeah.
Well, how do you beat that? Is that
bottom where you had to roll down the stairs?
We might as well end this podcast now, because you can't beat that story.
Yeah.
Well, that was my introduction to RVing.
Well, okay. So on that note, the other thing, Jackie, which what I love, she and I are very simpatico in this. She loves to share those stories, and she started an RV newsletter.
Yeah, it's newsletter.
And you don't do it every week, I noticed, but I couldn't wait. I was always anxious to see the next one, because she recounted their adventures on the road in this RV, and it was learn as you go. RVing for Dummies. And I mean, it was, if any, you know what, really all RV salespeople should put their customers on that newsletter, because it will help you figure out the little nuances of having an RV and what you need to think about and do. You know, for instance, make sure you get the right size. It's too bad.
Make sure your sheets are right or you'll break your arm places.
The great news is when we returned home from that trip, John found something online. They're called beddies. And what it's like a sleeping bag with a fitted mattress. So you can put it on the bed like a mat, like a fitted sheet, sorry, but it's attached to a sleeping bag. And you can dip yourself in. So if my husband goes fishing with one of his buddies, or if I take one of my girlfriends up to the wine country in it and we're sleeping in the twin beds, we can zip ourselves in so neither of us falls out.
But you don't fall out.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So we've learned our lesson with that.
Yeah.
But you're right.
What's the name of your newsletter? How can people find it?
It's called Ramblin' Jacks, and at this point, I'm using eye contact because I have my subscribers from my old website. But if people send me their email, I'll subscribe them. I haven't quite figured out how people can just find it and subscribe it to it.
Do you want to give your email? Give us your email.
Yeah, sure. It's JackieBalestra@gmail.com. JACKIE B as in boy ALESTRA@gmail.com. So
we'll share that in the show notes, Mark. We'll have
And you know, it is that, speaking of newsletters, that is a are you using Constant Contact?
I'm using eye contact.
Okay.
Same thing.
Because if they have something at the bottom, you can tell your readers, if you have people who you think would like this, send it to them, and if they have a thing at the bottom, if there's a bottom, they can sign up and join.
Yeah. It's one of those things I have to get around to. And as you said, I only blog when we're traveling. I don't just sit here and talk about RVing when I'm not RVing. So,
but it's funny but there was another time you posted. What was it? Did the power go out at the beach?
Oh yeah. That was just a couple of weeks ago. You guys
went to the RV.
Yeah. We had an electrical main or something. Oh no, it was a water main. Somebody down the street, the water main broke and it was flooding the street, and the repair crews were here to fix it. So they had to shut down water to the whole block. And my husband and I had been out at something I can't remember, and we came home, no water. You know, how do you cook dinner? How do you do dishes? How do you do anything without water, right? So yeah, we went in the RV.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh, we have a toilet. Other people didn't even have a toilet.
Yeah.
So we just hunkered down to the RV and had something to eat, and
you could also Airbnb that thing.
Yeah. You know what else?
We can want to do that.
No, we can use it as guest quarters.
Yeah.
When we have friends and people come to stay over, because we only have one guest bedroom, right? Yeah. And I mean, it's like having your own little hotel room. You know, fridge, a bathroom, coffee maker.
Especially if it'll park into a regular parking spot. You've got the space right there. Boom. It's like adding another room to your house, only it's fully equipped.
Yeah. No, there's a lot of, pros to it that I didn't even think about. I never thought about what we would do with it when we weren't traveling. I just assumed it would sit in the driveway and do nothing. But then during COVID, my husband and I had been sharing an office, like a 12 by 15 office. We're both on Zoom calls all day. I was like, oh, I'll just go hang out in the RV.
Right.
So
work from there. Yeah.
My dad, he used it as a bar. So my sister was an alcoholic. She was in the house drinking. So all of us would go out in the RV and drink.
Wait, your dad had an RV?
Well, it was it wasn't really it was a trailer. It was a big, and he had a truck he pulled it with. But he camped. He always, all my life, he was a camper of some sort. Start off with a little pop-up, and then he got a trailer.
Yeah, so you kind of grew up with the RV. You grew up with the RV then. Yeah. It had a kitchen and all that. It was a fifth wheel, basically.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. I guess I'm the only one. We had a pop-up camper for a while, but,
Dad drug us down.
Vanagon, but didn't you have?
Oh, yeah. Well, you will see it in the South Bay. I gave that to my son, my oldest son, who lives in El Segundo.
Oh, okay.
He's in the movie business now, but he can build. He's built motorcycles and cars and all kinds of stuff. And so, he keeps it in great shape. He's already tricked it out a little bit, and so he got that because it just wasn't practical up here for me. I needed something I could throw a bale of hay in the back. And
Yeah, you're living the farm life now, Green Acres.
It is. I've been there. It's just like Green Acres with the pig and everything.
I can't wait. I can't wait to get up there, Mark. I mean, we've taken this winter. We did several small trips in the RV. We went down to Cardiff by the Sea for one weekend, and in California, all of these state beaches have campgrounds.
Yeah.
They have, so literally, you pull into a spot, you don't have to put your privacy screen up in the front. You've got the ocean. Well, every room in the place, all you see is the ocean. So we did Carpinteria. So little trips like that. We went up to Portland for one of my best friends. Her daughter was getting married, and I said to my husband, I said, "We're going to Portland. We're taking the RV and we're going to Portland."
Well, where did you stay in Portland? What?
We stayed in the RV. We didn't get a hotel.
I mean, what was there a campground near Portland? I'm a little bit familiar with the Portland area and up the hood.
Well, she's not in downtown Portland. She's in one of the suburbs. But what was fun was we actually went out. We planned to be there a few days early. The wedding was Saturday, and there was a pre-wedding barbecue on Friday night. We actually got up there a couple of days before that because a very good friend of ours lived up there, and he invited us to go fishing on the Columbia River Gorge. So we got up there early. We found a campground near where we were meeting him, and then we went out fishing the next morning and caught all of the salmon. And he filleted and cleaned it and everything, and baggied it up, and we threw it in the freezer, and it was delicious. It was delicious. Yeah.
Columbia River Gorge is a beautiful, beautiful area.
It's stunning. It's stunning. Yeah.
My dad would call and say, "Hey, I'm coming up to see you," and you'd think, he's coming, and he'd pull on the driveway with his trailer, and he'd start unpacking his stuff, and I was like, "Dad, I got 2 or 3 bedrooms. What? He's bringing your trailer?" He goes, "All my stuff's in the trailer."
Yeah. He doesn't need anything. He's self-sufficient.
You started to say something about the Columbia River Gorge.
Oh no, it is stunning. It's stunning. I had been there. No, I'd never been there. I'd never been to the Columbia River Gorge. But no, what I was going to say is, all the trips we've taken so far, we always have friends in the area that we're going to, people we know, and that's been the best part about this, because everywhere we go, we're like, hey, we're here at this campground. They come and visit. We make a fire. We watch the sunset. So we're getting to see people that we don't get to see very often at all.
Yeah.
So that is, and we have friends all over the country. I mean, we can literally stop in just about every state in the country and hook up with friends.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what about Illinois? Do you have friends in Illinois anywhere?
Illinois,
You do now.
Well, I guess that's true.
I guess I do. Yeah. Now you.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I have a great friend in Traverse City, Michigan, and she's like, "You guys got to get up here," and I'm like, "Okay," friends in Texas and New Mexico. I mean, all over the place. So
same.
Yes. So
same. I have 3 fifth wheels that just pulled in our back field area, and normally we're harvest hosts.
Yeah, I know.
And for those of you listeners and viewers who don't know, Harvest Host is a RV site that you can go to. Anybody who's a host on the Harvest Host, and usually it's wineries or all kinds of ranches and things like that. And the understanding is you get 1 night for free, no hookups, but it's understood that you will partake of whatever it is they're offering. So if you're at a winery, you'll buy a bottle of wine, or you'll pay for a wine tasting. with us, we're harvest hosts, so you'll buy breakfast or a box lunch or a cheese charcuterie board or dinner or whatever, and we only allow one on the property, but these people had such a great time the last time they were here. They said, would it be okay if we brought a couple of friends next time? I said, sure, as long as you guys know each other and everybody's ordering, that's fine. Yeah. Well, so what they're doing is they came in today. I'm allowing them to stay actually 2 nights. There's 7 of them. And one of them took over our Airbnb. So they're doing that. And they're getting dinner tonight and breakfast tomorrow and dinner tomorrow night and breakfast the day they leave. And we're going to put them in the barn. We're just going to feed them family style in the barn. So they're just going to have a great time. And
I get your newsletter. I see your reviews. I mean, everybody raves about it. And I just cannot, everything I've learned about Lake County, because I knew nothing about Lake County until you moved up there and started telling everybody about it.
We didn't know. We bought the property, never heard of Lake County. And we learned about it after we got up here. So we came to the property but the lake is full now. So we have a very vibrant lake. Everybody's expecting this summer. It's already started. People are out in their boats and running around, and there's restaurant bars on the water, and people are just having a blast because the lake is full.
Because we had a ton of snow this winter. Yeah, you're gonna have good water levels all over the West.
There are lakes now that haven't been there for decades.
Yeah, and before the lake started filling up, they found a bunch of bodies in Lake Mead.
Oh yeah, well here during those 2 years of drought, I guess 3 years maybe. I mean, I have never known the lake to be full since moving here 3 years ago. But there was a car off of Clear Lake State Park submerged, that now the water was low enough that they found the car, and there were 2 bodies in there, and it was from a wreck, missing persons from like the 70s.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Crazy. So yeah, people were finding, because now people had their boats up on the where you crank the boat up and out of the water. They couldn't even drop their boat because it was all dirt.
Yeah.
And there were people would find beer cans from the 60s, and I mean, there was just all kinds of wild stuff because
that's fun. That's fun when the water level drops. You'll never know what you'll find.
Yeah. So in this lake. So anyway, so everybody's super excited for this summer because everything's back up. That means the tourists will be back. The Airbnbs on the lake will be full swing because the people who have second homes will be visiting because now they can get their boats in the water and they can go out and play and things like that. And not to mention, we've got a big resort that's opening up that's going to start music acts and things like that. So,
that's the best.
Jackie, what's your next trips? What do you got planned?
Well, actually, my husband he brought the RV back up to Idaho about 10 days ago, and he got in it and drove into Montana. He wanted to check out some of the rivers and campgrounds, so he did a big loop. He went up to Kalispell, Missoula, and then came back down. And he had 5 or 6 different campgrounds and rivers that he wanted to check out. So he did that. Sent me a ton of pictures. So I'm actually going up there Friday, and we're going to jump in the RV and go check out. We both fly fish, so
you're up there doing the Hemingway stuff, right?
Yeah, and it's just stunning, these campgrounds he was sending me pictures of. They're right on the river.
Yeah,
full up, and it's gorgeous. There's grass and there's trees, there's shade, and I mean.
Well, that's a cool part of the country. That's some of the, Idaho, they say, is the least populated state.
Yeah, and it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
They also say for those of you guys that have bought second homes, or there have been a lot of people like, Linda Leroy who moved there, and a number of people who've moved there. They say the first thing you got to do is get rid of those California license plates. Excuse
me. You remember during COVID when the governor was saying they weren't going to mandate social distancing? I was like, yeah, Idaho is the definition of social distancing.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
But all
it's-
that area, Montana, Big
Montana.
Sky, all of that. It's, what a great place to go with an RV because there's just so much, to see and everything's scenic.
it's beautiful. I mean, John was sending me pictures. He buttoned everything up for the night, and a whole herd of elk just walking right by the RV.
Yeah.
And he's just taking pictures. I'm like, make sure the window's closed.
Right.
It's
Well,
not.
Even Sam, when Sam came to visit us, he drove here. He and Terry, his wife, drove here, and they saw our Thule elk that hang out in the areas. And he said, "Are those deer or what are those?" And are they elk of some sort? Yeah, those are our Thule elks. Yeah, you begin to take it for granted. Turkeys crossing the road, deer crossing the road, Thule elk out in the fields, and yet, yeah, same thing here. We've got all of that stuff. And
Well, Mark, we're down to 2 minutes and 40 seconds.
Goodness, that went fast.
I want that always does. I want to thank you, Jackie, for agreeing to.
We'll have some time. 2 minutes is a long time. Jackie could tell us about living on Long Island.
You're better at this than I am. I'm like 2 minutes. We can blow.
I never lived in Long Island. I'm from New York City.
No,
Oh, really?
Wait a second.
Yes.
I thought you were Long Island.
No.
You were in the city. Where'd you live in the city? East Side. You were East Side.
33rd and 3rd.
Yeah, I knew you were East Side.
Yeah.
I was West.
Murray Hill. Yeah.
Murray Hill. Murray 911. Yeah. So
That's our phone number, Murray Hill 9. Yep.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So that's great. Wow. That's
I'm
cool.
going back. I'm
Yeah.
going back in July for my mom's 98th birthday.
Wow. 90.
I have a friend of mine who's going back for her older friend of mine, who's going back for her dad's 100th birthday.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It's amazing. We're all living a lot longer.
Well, it's
We're staying healthy. We're all healthy.
yeah,
Living a good life. Breathing that clean mountain air.
yeah, exactly. So what's the other thing our listeners should know about you? Jackie is a jack of all trades. She didn't you do a dancing? You did a dancing competition.
It was for charity. It was Torrance Cultural Arts Center. They raised money and they asked various personalities in the South Bay to go and dance for them, and I did, and it was a great experience. And I have a nice big trophy.
Right,
Jackie, I want to ask you something. One last question. You didn't get a small van. What did you call it? A cruiser? And
A
you
Sprinter now.
did deep. So did you get one that was just good enough?
Oh, you're too early. You're too early.
It's perfect.
Just good enough.
It's perfect. It's perfect. It's
So
just
just good enough is.
You know what?
It's good enough for now.
And that's a wrap for this week's episode of Good Enough. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was good enough. And if it was good enough, please subscribe to our podcast and tune in soon for a new exciting episode of Good Enough. Until then, so long and be safe.